Hey, everybody, Off the Mic Sports Network here. Another edition of Off the Top Rope. So, SmackDown was littered with a lot of things that were out of their control. There was a technical issue during the live broadcast on Netflix. They actually did a very unique camera angle for the Cody Rhodes Randy Orton promo that was seemingly altered live because of some of the technical issues that were going on there in Saudi Arabia. But the one segment that for the second week in a row, and really since this build began in Phoenix on the 9th. So basically, they've had less than 3 weeks to build this match between John Cena and CM Punk, and they have knocked it out of the freaking park. This is honest to God, for a short build, one of the better builds of all time. Last week, obviously, we got the reverse pipe bomb with John Cena, giving his own version of the pipe bomb almost 14 years to the day. And then on the 14-year anniversary of the said pipe bomb, we get CM Punk dressed up as the Doctor of Thugonomics, Punk Life, which I did not have CM Punk dressing up as a 2003 John Cena. I did not have that on my bingo card, but I love this segment. It was something that you wouldn't expect from CM Punk. And yet, again, this whole week has really been about Punk Derangement Syndrome and really a lot of this build has been because to some degree, Punk has really had to eat his words. Earlier in the day, he apologized to the audience for a tweet that he sent back about 6 years ago. Optically, not the greatest look in the world, especially where they were in Saudi Arabia. And, considering we've had this whole discussion about morality with him. But then everybody's just taking that and I talked about this, with the whole incident that he had with the kid on Thursday, which was blown completely out of proportion. And everybody just ran with that, and mostly AEW schmucks. And then this promo happens and everybody's like, this is a humiliation ritual. I'm like, what? First of all, okay, we were all waiting for everybody was pissing. A lot of the AEW people were pissing all over the John Cena promo. And a lot of people were saying, man, he could have gone after AEW more. It could have been more edgy. You guys were complaining about that. And now CM Punk comes out there and does something that you wouldn't expect him to do. It was actually a really good promo. Some people were mad about the whole Kendrick Drake line that finished it off before the mic drop. He said, "You're my Drake bitch," or something like that. So it was, listen, CM Punk is having fun. And yes, I am not necessarily thrilled with, optically how some of his old past words have come back to bite him. And this is just the era of social media that we live in, where it's like, hey, you're going to get bitten. And, CM Punk is like the latest example of, old tweets coming back to bite him. And, people are going to think whatever they want to. The AEW people are going to just, be mad because of how it ended there. But let's be honest. If this happened in your company, given the history that John Cena and CM Punk had, what'd you want Punk? People are saying they miss the old CM Punk. What'd you expect CM Punk to come out there and do? Like, we've seen the act before. So by him doing something that we haven't really seen him going to, I saw, and a guy that I respect in John Alba, basically saying this is the antithesis of what the old CM Punk would have done. And I wouldn't have done this on a go home show. It's like, you have to play some mind games and sort of rattle John Cena the night before a pay-per-view, because clearly this was going to be about making CM Punk, after a lot of people were mad that he literally sat buried in a table for 10 minutes, even though he got kicked in the balls and had two belt shots and an AA through a table that he was selling. And, you can dismiss reality or belief in however you want, but it's amazing to me how divisive this guy is in terms of like how people will feel about him. Because, when he was in WWE, when he left WWE, and now he's back, but this whole AEW component to it, and it's just most of the people that are reacting to this are AEW people who feel like they were wronged, and it's amazing to me to see all these people just getting up in arms saying, man, that segment sucked. That segment was not good. And, it's not, it's where's the old CM Punk? He sold out for the money. And it's like, first of all, that was really a different side of CM Punk that we've never seen. And whether you think it's corporate or whether you think it's cringy, first of all, look, you're entitled to your opinion, but I feel a lot of the opinions on this that were going in the negative route were coming from a place of, we just need to find a reason for him to, we just need to find a reason for him to like not be good because it's all the AEW leaning accounts. It's all those grifting accounts on that side, just who want to see a reason for CM Punk to like, be a failure or come out as a hypocrite or something like that. And it's like you guys were trumpeting this guy 4 years ago as like changing the game for you guys on the AEW side. Now that he's in a big time feud with maybe his biggest rival, has a back to back weeks where they do an unbelievable segment. Like this is one of the great builds for a short term feud that I have seen in quite some time. They had a ton of history that they could tap into, and they handled it in a way that you wouldn't expect. And so, like, I don't understand what the problem is here. I pop for it. Like, you got CM Punk comes out there with a chain. He comes out there in a retro Chicago Cubs jersey, a backwards Bulls baseball cap, and he's wearing jorts. He looked like John Cena from 20 years ago. And it was like, okay, how are you going to respond to John Cena after he ripped off something from you? So CM Punk ripped off something from John Cena. And John Cena was clearly rattled. You could see the way that they sold that segment. This was really well executed. Why? Because it's in Saudi Arabia? Why? Because Punk said some shit about Saudi Arabia 6 years ago? Why? Because Punk apologized, and you guys think optically, and from some perspective, optically, it doesn't reflect very well on CM Punk. The whole kid thing yesterday was not really that big. It was, to me, a real nothing burger of a thing. It's Punk Derangement Syndrome. Like, why does every time that this guy does something that the negativity seems to flow through people's minds because they are and then people are just like, oh yeah, the stuff that he did in AEW was better than this. It's like, why do you care? If you are such an AEW sicko, why do you care? If your company is so great, why do you care about CM Punk being in Saudi Arabia? He has not been a part of your company in almost 2 calendar years. You're mad. You're mad that he's not yours. It's just, I don't get the point, and I've been exhausted from this whole thing of just seeing so many CM Punk, anti-CM Punk takes on the internet. Like, you can like him for you can like or dislike him for a number of different reasons, but I just feel that a lot of these takes that were coming through are just the same people that, were the same people who were trumpeting him and like saying that he was this great vehicle coming back to wrestling. And now because it went wrong and you had a boss that didn't handle something the correct way, and I'll be the first to tell you, and I've said this a million times, I don't think Punk is completely absolved of any blame of how that ended with AEW. But it has been 2 years. Why do people continuously keep talking about this guy? If you are an AEW fan and you don't like WWE or whatever, the fact that you keep talking about this and then you keep saying, oh, this was cringy. This was a humiliation ritual. What? There's a bunch of bullshit of these type of segments that go on everywhere. There's history to it, and it literally applied into what happened last week, where John Cena ripped off something from CM Punk. So we get to see something different from CM Punk at this stage of his career. It's not something you expected from him. It was fucking entertaining. Like, seriously, y'all gotta chill the fuck out. And I know this is going to be going on tomorrow when, this whole match goes on between Cena and Punk. Because as per usual, CM Punk just drives the conversation. But this discourse, man, is just getting exhausting. It's been going on for basically, what we started this build really on June the 9th, a couple of days after Money in the Bank. And here we are. We're going to be the 28th. It's literally lasted less than 3 weeks. For the sake of everybody, I hope that this doesn't end. But, I hope that Punk in the main event scene around John Cena is going to move forward. But can we stop with all this negativity, or this forced negativity around CM Punk? Because I just feel like it's so disingenuous from everybody. It's just all these people who are AEW fans who are just trying to find reasons to not like this guy. All right. Anyway, thanks so much. I'll see you guys. Bye bye.